So now, fun facts. So now we get into, for the entire episode, you're like, wait, so what are like the special Hydras?
Yeah.
Right?
Subspecies.
So subspecies. Here are the main four. You got the common Hydra, which you're like, common Hydra? Like, so that's the one that heals. No. That's the one that doesn't heal. And that's where it comes from, like, you have to kill every head to kill it. Which is pretty interesting.
Wait, so the common...
The common Hydra has 5 heads. If you cut off a head, that head just dies. It doesn't come back.
Okay, it's just a multi-headed
It's a multi-headed Hydra with no healing. And then there's the Lore-ific Hydra. Sorry for butchering that. That's another, it's like rare, but it's like when you meet a Hydra, that's probably the one you're going to fight. So the most common one that the party will face will be a Lore-ific Hydra.
Okay, you're messing me up now. Lore-ific Hydra?
Lore-ific. Oh, no.
Lore-ific.
Well, let's just say the Logan Hydra. Hydra.
But I just say Lore-ific.
No. I refuse.
Okay, well...
The one that heals, the typical Greek mythology one. That's probably the one that you will fight as a party.
Yeah.
So that one is the regenerates heads. There is the Pyro Hydra. That's the red Hydra, which you think it's bad enough that they grow heads, But nah, they cook you alive when they eat you. They can shoot fire breath from every head.
Yes, and I think that is an especially interesting one because it is creating the weakness it has, right? Like, I'm pretty sure
it's actually resistant to fire damage. Right?
Oh,
or maybe it doesn't
does
heal.
Does it not regenerate?
It probably doesn't heal.
Okay.
That would be insane. If it's immune to fire, then you're screwed.
But the thing is, you can mix and match. You could have a healing one. So if you had a healing Pyro Hydra, that would get like weird because if it is resistant to fire damage, but I guess the fire would still cauterize it. It's
or maybe
resistant.
You could make it where that's when acid works. You know what I'm saying?
Something like
that's
that.
when acid works and stops it.
But resistance just means
it takes half the damage.
Takes half the damage, but it still takes it.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe like a Pyro mixed with like the healing, the regeneration Hydra. Maybe like its healing factor isn't as insanely broken and strong. So maybe it'll like grow its heads eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it like gets its head chopped off. There's one left. He's like, I'm out. And he runs away. And then like a day later, the heads come back. That's kind of like a way of doing it, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so basically what's interesting about them, they like hot places. They won't be like chilling in volcanoes and stuff, but like I guess around a volcano. Kind of like the jungle, like a dinosaur island. They're kind of like in like the geysers. That's kind of where they would be at. Cool fun fact about them. This is from a YouTuber, Mr. X. He's a pretty awesome guy. But he said something very interesting. So any Hydra that depends on its breath attack, all they need to do to cast it or to breathe its weapon is to breathe. So let's say you paralyze the Hydra. If it has one of its mouths open, it'll just shoot at you. So let's say you paralyze the Hydra, it like flops all over the place, and its heads kind of like go all over the place. One's like resting on like a rock or something. If it has its mouth open, and if it can breathe, it can shoot fire still. So, still like don't think you won yet. You're like, haha, you try to take a tooth, boom, fire in the face. So don't think you're safe from that. But then there's also the rarest of Hydras, the Cryo Hydra, which is the only Hydra that likes the tundra, or likes our cold places. That's a Hydra that's purple, and it breathes ice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's the one that you get purple boots. And you're resistant to cold. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool stuff.
So I did have two others. One of which is supposedly extinct. And it's just like a small version that lives underground. But why not make it unextinct? If you want to fight one.
Dog-sized
So you would
Hydra?
probably have to... I don't know the stats or anything for that, but
Is
it's
it like a dog-sized Hydra?
I have no idea. It's smaller, and it's underground, and it sounds like a fun little encounter.
There's just a bunch of them.
Because maybe for lower level PCs, because it's probably you could give it its regeneration. It just doesn't do as much damage, and it's a little more manageable. It just sounds like a fun encounter. And then the fifth one, which I didn't create it, but it just makes sense to me. I didn't find it anywhere, but it's a poison one.
Oh yeah, when it bites you, you're injected with a bunch of venom.
Yeah, make him poisonous, and that is extremely accurate to the mythology as well. Which I might as well get into. I wanted to tell the quick version of the Hercules story, just because I think mythology is awesome. Fun facts are not like we do. Fun facts are not necessary, right, for you to play Hydra.
But which is why fun.
They're just fun. Which is why I'm gonna tell you a story. So this is how the story goes. All right. So Hercules. Long story short, he needs to kill the Hydra. He said, "This is someone."
One of its labors, right?
Yeah, one of its labors. This is your task. Go kill the Hydra. Okay, done. He goes to the swamp, and he starts shooting arrows at it. He's like, "Come on out! Come on out!" You know, the Hydra was like in a poisonous environment, very toxic.
Just chilling there.
Hercules is like, I'm just going to keep shooting you if you don't come out here.
You're just taking off the Hydra's like eating something. He's just chilling. He's like, what's that paint, Jeff? One of the heads just like looks back. Oh, some idiot guy in some lion costume. Looks pretty good though. And then one's in the back's like, why don't we eat him? And he's like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah, true. The heads would talk to each other.
The heads
yeah. Okay, more like it just gets annoying. It's like, oh, you're messing with me? Like, I am the Hydra. I'll just eat you. All right.
What do you think you're doing?
So it goes out, and it meets Hercules face to face. So, if anyone's seen the Disney movie, you know how that goes. And that's not at all really
That's not really how the story goes. I thought, didn't Hercules have a club?
Yes. No spoilers. Okay, but...
What do you mean?
So, he did have a club.
In the Disney show, he had a sword.
He has a sword. But no, Hercules does have a sword. He totally has one. He has a club too, but he doesn't use either. He's not yet. He's just like, you know what? Let's wrestle. And he just grapples the Hydra. It's this giant thing with all these heads, and he's just like, let's go.
I'm pretty sure the D&D one is bigger than the...
Probably.
But I just love WWE match. Freaking Hercules jumps from a rock, grabs a head, starts like punching.
But Hercules is like real strong, right? He's tough.
I'm pretty sure he freaking threw the Hydra. Didn't he just pick it up and chuck it one time?
Oh yeah, no, he's tough. So Hercules, he's like, let's go. You know, I got places to be. Let's do this. And he grapples it, but the Hydra is itself a very formidable grappler. So just imagine an anaconda, right? But it's an anaconda times 5 times however many heads it has.
Titanoboa.
It's very capable of grappling. So it was pretty matched with Hercules in terms of grappling. Hercules is this, stocky.
I'm not sure why you wanted to grapple it though.
I don't know actually. This is the express version I'm giving. So no, I have no idea why. Mythology doesn't go into detail.
Mythology's too much. Weird.
But so he grapples it. It's kind of like a death tie grip. They're kind of both equal. And this thing is hyper venomous. So Hercules has to deal with that as well. He just can't really get bit.
I'm not sure how do you not get bit by the Hydra?
I have no idea.
You gotta deal with
Hercules
many freaking heads.
I mean, he's pretty small. You know what I mean? So like, if he like grabs one head under his arm and then like grabs another, and he's kind of like dodging, and and then you like
wait. I'm
throw
pretty
him.
sure in the Greek mythology, isn't the Hydra actually has like one big mother head? It's like just some giant.
In mythology, there is an immortal head.
Yeah, like if you kill that, you kill the Hydra, right?
No, you can't kill it. It's impossible to kill. We'll get to it. So what he does is he pulls out his club, and he's like, all right, fine. And he starts just whack-a-moling, like,
bonking them over
and
head.
he's just, like, beating the heads, like, into mush, right? Like, he's just, like, he's not cutting them off. He's, like, really crushing them, and it's, like, gory and everything.
Rip the heads.
Yeah, rip the heads. It takes my fingerprint. My computer keeps timing out. Okay. Wow. Okay, so he's beating the heads down, and guess what happens?
The heads come back?
Yep. Every time he breaks a head, 2 more come back. And it's like, what? So he was kind of matched with this beast, but now it's getting stronger and stronger. And it's like, well, this isn't working, right? So he disengages in D&D terms. It's not really clear if he actually runs away, like if he actually retreats, but he does in some way get help from his nephew. I believe it was his nephew.
What's his nephew doing there?
See, I don't know.
He pulls up. He's like.
That's why I think he probably like completely left.
I just imagine like he's like finally he's like, nephew, is that you? And he's just chilling on the floor. He's like, wait, what are you doing, Uncle? What? Why? And it's just like, boy, I need your help. And he just starts smashing it in and all that.
Yeah.
Just give me something.
Yeah. It's like when your PCs are dying and you need to help them. So it's like, oh, by the way, there's this guy that knows how to kill them. Anyway, so the nephew helps him. And the way the nephew helps is he just lights the forest on fire.
What?
He lights the forest on fire.
Wait, what? I thought he gave Hercules like a torch or something.
No, he lights the forest on fire,
Why?
and every time Hercules would cut off a Hydra head,
he would grab the head and put it in the fire.
The nephew is not Hercules. The nephew's, I'm pretty sure, I don't know who the nephew is.
Kill him? Like, where you
No,
go?
the nephew used like wood and logs that are on fire to cauterize the heads to keep them from growing back, which is like what you're supposed to do, and that totally inspires the D&D monster. But I am always curious, like how, like how did he pick up a log that's on fire, but how did he cauterize a wound with it? Like fire isn't that. Like, imagine just this flailing neck. How are you going to be like, oh, I got this log here? It's like, no.
Well, maybe he made like a little rolling pin, you know? And he jump on like a thing and like...
go.
Try cut her.
Okay, that's
no,
probably
but why did he light the forest on fire if he didn't even throw the thing in the forest?
What do you mean?
Like you said, he lit the actual forest on fire, but then he just grabbed some random log that he could just lit just the log.
I mean, I think just the fire environment all around allowed there to be always fire at hand when they needed to use it.
But I just feel like it's a little extreme.
It's a little overkill.
So if you're in D&D, you face a Hydra, just have what the wizard's like, I'm casting fireball.
See that dead tree over there? That's what
Fireball!
Okay, So in the end, Hercules kills it because there's any more heads.
What about the immortal head?
He cuts it off.
But you said it can't die.
It can't die, so it's still alive. So he just has the head, and it's like chopping air. And he buries it, and then puts a giant boulder on top.
Well, that's not killing it, though.
No, but it's the best he can do.
So he failed the labor, technically, because the labor said he'll kill
He actually did fail the labor, but not because of that. It was because he got help. Apparently that's not allowed. It's like, oh, you got help. No, doesn't count.
It's like, bro.
Yeah, that's rough, but it's all right.
Rough,
it's
maybe
an epic
to this
fight.
day, if you go to Greece, if you find a boulder you might dig, you might see, no. Just a head just trying to like...
Yeah, that could be a cool thing.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. And
you like
buried treasure.
Buried treasure, just freaking Hydra head.
You just find a Hydra head. Okay. Well, that's cool. Don't know why we just did an entire quest to get it.
It's like holding on to like the treasure chest. It's just like...
Oh, there's
just chilling there.
Okay, so that's the story of Hercules and the Hydra. Pretty cool. So we talked about them evolving from proto dragons.
Wait,
and also...
I just totally forgot one. Draco Hydras. That would be scary.
Was that like skeleton?
No, it's a dragon Hydra, or a Hydra Lich. That's what I'm picturing. A Draco Hydra has wings and can fly.
Okay.
And normally it's like a Draco Hydra can be like a white or like a red dragon, but it has like 2 heads. So like
that's probably a different species.
And also, yeah, well I guess it is, but like Tiamat has a frick bunch of heads. She has 5 heads too. So I'm not sure if she counts as a Hydra. But if she has kids, and if they have, by the way, she's like freaking weird. She has like her kids as fathers. So major,
Tiamat.
Yeah, Tiamat has major incest going on. It's freaking awful. But like, not like 1 out of her 3 kids is a Draco Hydra, but she eats them because she says no. I'm the only one that's unique. Bad.
Got it. Okay.
But it's pretty cool. So imagine a Hydra with wings and can shoot fire. Like imagine you just combine like a Chiral Hydra with like a electricity Hydra with like a fire Hydra, and you just have this abomination with wings shooting the elements just everywhere.
Yeah, the CR rating is like it's an 8 for the
that
one we're
is
talking
stupid.
about. No, but if you add heads and you add abilities, obviously you need to raise it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or health.
So we got this episode's going pretty long, so let's not dilly dally here. Okay, so yeah, what else do we got? A lot of this we actually already talked about. Oh, there's one. So this was somewhere. There's a swamp plant that acts as a sedative to the hydras, and this is a really good way, in my opinion, to kill one. But better, this would be a good way to have a hydra farm. Because think about it, hydras are a really good source of food. So if you were to farm them, like constantly cutting off a head, right, you would need a lot of this sedative. So I could see a campaign completely geared around this.
You're all farmers, and you must
No, the players don't have to be farmers.
It's a farmer simulator in a campaign, Jake, just with hydras.
No, my idea was you have... players don't have to make farmers. They make whatever they want. They come to a town, and the town has... farmers? Can I just say...
Sorry!
It's
I'm excited!
Wow. They get to a town, and this town has like a hydra farm. They use this plant to keep them sedated, but they cut off heads. They use it as meat. They use their heads and teeth as tools. They just use the hydra like really well because the hydra has all these things. They maybe sell things. Anyway, what happens when you have this big hydra farm with all these sedated hydras, and then you start to run out of the plant? It's like, they're all gonna wake up, or like a forest fire comes through, and it's like, we just lost all our plants.
I just imagine the farmers, they open like the warehouse that has the plants, and they're like, oh crap,
Yeah, pretty much. But the fun fact is there is a plant that is extremely strong sedative for only hydras.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you give it to them, they literally go into sleep. And this is the only time where all the heads are asleep.
Maybe.
No, it is. Like, all of them are asleep. And you can literally stab it to death and it will stay asleep.
Yeah. It sedates them. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So it's like you're sedated, but you just get stabbed and you don't wake up from it. So... I guess if you stab its heart, or like puncture its lung,
yes,
I guess you kill it.
Okay, but let's try to not be too ranty here. Sorry. Let's just move one to the other. Do you have another
one? Well, I guess some more magical things you can create out of it. So potions, you can make flame tongues and the flame tongue variant, but it's ice. I forget what they're called. But you can make amulets of health. You can make, really, they're major cleric. Clerics really like Hydra parts because they can make a bunch of magic stuff from them. So they're very disease resistant. They are, the elemental resistance, fire and ice, depending on the certain Hydra that you killed. And, so general fun. So basically they said a body of a Hydra, if you just killed a Hydra, you have its entire body, can go, I think, 15,000. So that's a small castle. So let's say your players need to hide out, kill a Hydra, pull that sucker to the king, saying, if you want this body, freaking pay me money.
But it's huge, so you would definitely need to somehow enlist help or something.
Yeah.
To get it. But yeah, that's
or like 20,000.
That's crazy money right there. Money. You'd have to. I mean, it takes time to like get a buyer and stuff, but that'd be cool. Yeah. Okay. A fun fact I got. So. This is a little tip for fighting Hydras for our players out there.
Fireball.
But this is the ultimate killer. Slow spell. So what a slow spell does is it makes you only allowed to take one action per turn, and you get no reactions. So it takes this giant multi-headed Hydra and says, "Oh, only one head per turn."
Frick all of your stuff.
Yeah, everything you have
pull
gone.
The giant middle finger on this Hydra, and then one of its heads is just like all the other heads are like just wasted, like basically drunk. They're like,
so if you have magic users, like especially like wizards or something, and they know they're going up against a Hydra, if you prepare a slow spell, you win. You just won. So as the DM, if you do fear that could happen, make the encounter a surprise, obviously, so they can't prepare it. But if you are a player and you just you're one of those players that probably listens to us, so you can get a head on so you can like really know what's up. Slow spell is how you're gonna kill a Hydra. You're welcome. Okay. So I assume that's all you got. Okay, disengaging. So disengaging this is also for players. We talked about this. Is vital for surviving encounters with Hydras. If you don't
move.
Don't just move. That's
You'll be
50
dead.
hit points gone. So yeah, don't.
50 hit points gone.
Right, and so my last fun fact is, we've been doing this wrong the whole time. People say Hydras. Is this the plural? I think it's Hydrae.
No. No, it's not.
I think it is.
No.
Yeah.
Hydrae?
Yeah, I think so. Instead of an S at the end, it's an E. Hydrae.
That's so weird. The Greek butts. Why?
I don't know.
Guys, look.
Maybe that's not true.
Wait. I'll get the voice. Over there. Oh, no, dang it. I'm trying to do like the Animal Planet, or not the Animal Planet, dude. Like Planet Earth.
So you're just trying to be like British or Australian?
The British. I can't do it. Over there you see Hydra doing their spectacular mating dance.
Yeah, you have to work on that. That would be quite a sight, though. All right, so that's fun facts. Let's get into extra ideas, and that will wrap it up.
I don't really have a lot. Do you? Oh my god, you have so many. Why?
I always prepare too much.
There are Hydras.
I don't know a ton of stuff. We've already talked about most of it.
I say make a giant Hydra, kaiju size.
You always do that.
I love it.
It's like just every extra idea you have is like, we have a monster. Just make it huge.
That's fun. You want to have a
big Godzilla fan over here.
Yes, I love God. Just make. Well, no, that's actually. I'm pretty sure there's.
It's like, you know what, players, just sit there and watch my two giant monsters fight each other. Okay, you can make bets. Well, I'll allow that.
Yeah, but giant Hydras. That would be sick.
They already are pretty big.
Well, imagine like you're on like a tower and then just heads just in circles.
That would be sick. It would just be King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah. Or Ghidorah. I hate people that say Ghidorah. I'm just like,
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Ghidorah.
But making him bigger actually would be helpful so they only have 10-foot range. So if you did want that like classic boat encounter where the heads pop out and like they're all from all sides and it looks like it's just a bunch of Loch Ness monsters, you'll need them to be way longer necks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, have imagine like a Kraken-sized Hydra. Like instead of like the Kraken killing you, it's like a bunch of like a massive aquatic Hydra.
Yeah.
Comes up and like attacks your ship. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Another thing are war Hydras. Imagine like you're pulling up, you're at the gate, like the wall. Imagine like Game of Thrones.
Sounds like a Targaryen thing.
Yeah. Like instead of freaking dragons, they're like, oh, we can just like kill them somehow. Kind of like I feel like pointy things kill dragons. So that let's say like, oh yeah, we can kill them, but then you pull up a Hydra, you shoot stuff at it, and it just heals.
Yeah,
and
War Hydra would be crazy.
Break down the gate and just kill everyone. They would just jump into like a mob of people and start ripping them all apart.
And you probably could, I don't know, tame a Hydra, but I could see it happening because if there is that sedative, you can
have Dominate Beast. Dominate Beast.
Dominate Beast. Oh, yeah.
So, okay. I mean, Dominate Monster, sorry. It's a spell. So you can theoretically dominate a Hydra.
Well, that's cool.
Make it a War Beast. That would be Armored Hydra. That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some of mine. So we talked about water fights. So the water fights is cool because you can have heads kind of like pop out of the water, maybe go back in the water, and that surprise factor can be interesting because it's like one head comes up, now two heads. You know what I mean? That's interesting. But you can also do that with like heavy fog. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell no.
Imagine like the swamp and you're just walking and then like there's a head that comes through the fog, but then on the other side there's another one. You know what I mean? Like you could totally do that with fog. That could be a creepy encounter.
No, thank you.
But speaking of fog and water encounters, when you have them popping out, I think as a DM, you really want to try to trick your players and make them think that it's separate monsters. So imagine you're in a boat and these like big sea creatures are popping out and attacking you, and your players are chopping off their heads, right? Because that's what's coming.
Yeah, have like the head plop and the neck like falls in the water.
And then
like the blood rises.
Two more come.
Huh?
And then they're just like, oh man, these things are not ending. There's more and more of them. We just need to keep chopping heads. You know what I mean?
No!
But it's like, that's not what's happening.
You freaking
and
idiot.
so you can make it mysterious. So like, I always love encounters where it changes as it goes, where like the players learn things as it goes, and that changes what's going like their strategies. And so their strategy at first will just be like, let's kill the heads that we see, but then it's like these heads aren't stopping. What's going on? And so maybe at some point they will somehow figure out that under the boat is the actual body of this creature, and maybe they'll like look in the water by chance for perception.
See like a claw, it's like gripping the boat or something.
Yeah, or they feel like a claw under it or something, and then once they realize, oh, this is a Hydra, we've just been giving it more heads this whole time. We need to do something else, right?
So theoretically, if one head kills another head, could it spawn?
That's on here. Some extra ideas. So
intelligent Hydra.
An intelligent Hydra would be so OP because it's able to make itself more powerful, right? By just killing its own heads. But I think the fact that Hydras are almost rock level intelligence, they're so low, means it wouldn't do this. It's not smart enough to be strategic in that sense.
Well, also, like, which head would be like, wait, guys, don't kill me. Like, come on, I didn't do anything. Or, like, that would be a cool idea, have every head...
No, they would vote on it.
Pull straws.
If they are smart...
Just like that one head that pulls the straws, like, oh, crap.
But to make this a little more plausible, if you did have, like, a hobgoblin or pretty much anything, like, somehow have this as a war beast, it may be like... 5 heads ain't enough. Let's just saw this one off. Let's do it again. Saw this one off.
Oh, God.
And it's just giving it, it's like, now my war beast is way more strong.
But
right?
then it's more hungry.
True. So maybe.
So
but, you know, that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're actually really hard to, like, have as a war beast because you literally have to constantly do dominate monster on them. Like, you physically cannot tame them, like, normally. Like, you have to physically, magically freaking just demolish their, like, dominate them. Yeah,
So Hydras have clear weaknesses.
Fire.
Right? Fire. Like, it's very clear, like, what you kind of need to do. Like, chopping off their heads is just not going to do it. But it's always interesting to make those kind of hidden, right? So, like, what I was talking about with keeping the body hidden under the water or something like that, they keep those hidden and have players figure it out.
Make it worse, you know?
Yeah. And you like, might, if you're going to do that, that will make your encounter probably more difficult in CR8. So maybe that's a way to make a Hydra for higher level players, because if they don't know it's a Hydra, it'll take more turns, and then by the time they figure it out, there may be double the heads. So, but it's again, like, they have a weakness to fire, but don't make that explicitly clear unless they figure it out. But if they do, like, do something with fire, you know, make it a note that it's like...
Make it maybe like the heads kind of react differently with the fire. Or the heads all look at the fire, like, kill it.
And maybe there's like a perception insight roll to see that.
That would be like a martial check, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This would be before an encounter. This is another extra idea I had. But this is just kind of classic. You imagine the PCs are fighting, like, lower level beasts. Have those beasts, like, run away mysteriously before a Hydra comes, because Hydras are apex predators.
Oh, kind of like they're like fighting and they're like, guys, do you hear that? Oh, no.
We're out. Yeah.
They start like, or like you have like literally, I think like the things that rival Hydras are, of course, dragons. I think are pride of griffins. Maybe
griffins can kind of rival anything because they're packs. They're like orcas in the air.
Freaking orcas. Yeah, so maybe like have like a bunch of griffins like run away, and you're like, why are these griffins running away?
Right. Why would griffins be running?
Why are they running? Like, that's bad.
Yeah.
Or like have an owlbear. Owlbears would run away. Actually,
owlbear would win.
No, they actually wouldn't run away. If they saw a Hydra, they would attack the Hydra, and the Hydra would be major confused. Be like, why are you attacking me? And the owlbear's like,
yeah. The owlbear would win. Enough said. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned make a Hydra like a prize in itself, super valuable. We mentioned that. Another one, Hydra would be a cool symbol for
a cult,
for like a cannibalistic cult, because they're like they're a major cannibal, right?
Hail Hydra.
Yeah,
I had to put one of those.
You could make it the name of a secret organization, and then the other one could be called Shield.
But why is the other one called Shield?
Because it's the Knights of Shield, and they hold shields.
But maybe it's like Hydra.
Wow, I'm realizing how much the Marvel Shield and Hydra fit into D&D. They're both like D&D, perfectly D&D things. A shield, medieval shield, Hydra, mythological Hydra.
Well, I mean, a shield isn't everything. They maybe have like Hydra and fire. I don't know. A dragon.
Wait, what? It's just like your emblem.
I guess so.
I have no idea what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't think shields are like comparable to like Hydras because shield is not really good.
But that's not how emblems work. Emblems are just emblems.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I mean, shields are.
Like if you think of Game of Thrones, like the not the Tarleys, the. You're not gonna help me with this, are you? High Garden, whatever they're called.
Flower.
Yeah, they're a flower. That's it's just
sick.
symbol. It's to symbolize like what they're about.
I actually have an extra idea. Have a plant-based Hydra, like a Venus flytrap.
Oh, that's interesting.
That would be like a
Venus flytrap.
What are they called? Shambling mounds. They're like plant monsters. But
I think there might be a monster like that. A multi-headed Venus flytrap. How could there not?
That'd be sick. I'm pretty sure there isn't though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
That'd be cool. It's like plant-based, so kind of cool. That's kind of. I mean, I had one more. What was it? It was like, I have like the Hydras have like each head has a different personality. Kind of King Ghidorah has like each head. Like the middle one's more dominant. The right one's very aggressive and gets angry, and the left one's very like submissive and like gets scared and stuff. But still freaking heads.
Nice.
Kill stuff.
And then if a head gets killed and two more pop out, those could be completely new personalities. Now you got the comedian. He's like the funny guy. He just makes fun of you as you get killed.
No, he makes all this dumb jokes. All the other heads are like, oh my god, like the bard of the group.
They're like, you know what? They just eat that head.
Yeah, they all look at it.
And then two more comedians pop out. And then
the head just like, guess what I did yesterday?
There's a bug on your face. There's a mosquito on your face. Wow, you missed it and you slapped yourself. That was just Looney Tunes-esque. Okay.
Land on me. Where is he?
Okay, just forget it. Let's move on.
It's a mosquito. What do you mean? How did I miss it?
It's fine. I don't see it anymore. Okay, so let's keep moving. Okay, we're gonna keep these short. Okay, so this one, so 4 campaigns. My campaigns, people might hate me for this, but I tend to make potions and that kind of stuff kind of more rare.
Ew.
Especially health potions. Ew. Not especially health potions, those are probably more common. But if you have a campaign where they are more rare,
kill a Hydra. Drink it.
Yes.
Drink its blood.
Okay, Ethan. Sorry, God, we have to hurry. Have health potions linked to a Hydra, in that you may have an alchemist like giving out health potions, but to make kind of the world cohesive, you could have Hydras linked to that place. So maybe that man works with hunters that go hunt a Hydra recently, or he has a Hydra chained up in his basement, something like that. And that's a good way of making things linked, and that could be like a hint to to someone who listens to us that they're
making potions.
That he has a Hydra somewhere. No. The potions would be a hint that there's a Hydra somewhere.
Oh.
Because it's a very high probability that these potions are coming from a Hydra, especially if they're like the greater potions, greater restoration.
That's a big basement. Jesus.
Well, yeah, it could be a big basement.
That's a massive basement.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a freaking underground bat cave.
And maybe the campaign is like the Hydra escapes, something like that. Who knows? Okay. This is a fun one. So for lower level players, so the CR8 rating is for Lernaean Hydra, which regenerates. But like you had mentioned, there is a common one that doesn't regenerate.
It's the common Hydra.
So it could be funny to throw a common Hydra against players that might know about Hydras, and they're like, oh my god, we're gonna get demolished, but this isn't the one that regenerates, so they could just kill it. You know what I mean? So they're like really scared, but then it ends up not being strong. But then they're
second guessing, like, what did this to this Hydra? Like, why is it not like regenerating? Like, is there something going on?
Probably just mutation.
Yeah. It's rip that Hydra.
Yeah. It's still a multi-headed beast. Like, it's pretty strong.
When you lose your heads, it's like, Jerry.
But there's animals in the wild that copy what other animals look like, and that gives them power, right? That gives them clout. You know what I mean. It makes them intimidating when they're not actually intimidating. Like, so you can have a butterfly that mimics, like, the eyes of something. Like, it's not actually the eyes of something. It's a butterfly.
I'm not sure really how animals get fooled by that.
Because animals don't have our eyes in our brain. They just see it. They might just see shapes or something, and it's like that shape initiates my reaction to run, and butterflies have evolved to display that shape. Therefore, when I see their butterfly wings, I run as whatever I am. So there's that. Maybe it's like a spider or something.
Now I feel like the mosquito's on me. It's weird. Sorry.
I don't see it anywhere. I think you might have killed it.
Did I? It was like flying over here.
I don't see it.
That's not me.
Okay.
Is that it for your extra ideas?
No.
Oh,
I got a couple
it's great. I love talking about Hydras, guys. Totally not dying.
Yeah, he's scared of the mosquito now. Okay. Well, maybe if we didn't rant so long, we wouldn't go so long.
You're ranting.
I'm not ranting. These are new ideas. Okay. So another one is, so we have the pheromones, right, that you can drink to...
Oh, that would taste awful. Sorry. Gotta get them
See?
jokes in. You gotta get them jokes
I know. We gotta have a limit. Okay. So you can drink the potion or drink the pheromones and attract dragons to you if you're dumb. Or you could use it as like put it in someone's drink, slip it in.
Then they're freaking screwed. Like they're on the carriage they're driving. It's like, what a good day, my
That would be a really fun way to get revenge.
Or get assassination. That would be an ultimate assassination.
Yeah. Well, I think the only reason you would do this is if you just really want to roast them or something, because if you're able to slip pheromones, you could just slip poison. So if you just want to kill them, just slip poison. But this would be like an ultimate, like, we're totally messing with this
that's
guy.
also the ultimate, like, a dragon just killed them. No one's gonna have any reason to be like, someone
That's a good point. It does cover your tracks. It's like, wow, that dragon came out and killed. No one could have done that. Yeah,
and why did it only kill him?
Weird. So maybe our Sherlock Holmes D&D character is going to figure it out. But yeah, okay. Moving on. You could take inspiration from the Hercules story and make killing the Hydra a form of trial, because Hydras are beasts. They're just beasts, right? So incorporating them into a campaign in a complicated way is difficult. But like, why not just say like, this is your goal, but I, like, as whoever I am, I'm the NPC. You need to go kill a Hydra. Maybe it's to get health potion stuff or something, or maybe you have a player that's dying, or an NPC that's dying, and the only way to save them is to make a health potion. But guess what? Health potions are rare, and the only way to make them is Hydra blood. So we need Hydra blood. So now you got to go fight a Hydra, and so it's like the Hercules story.
Or just have a cleric.
If you don't have a cleric. Or you need like a special type of healing. Basically, like, going and fighting a Hydra is a very typical way of encountering them. Like seeking out the Hydra, because it's kind of like this. It's like a boss fight. You know what I mean? Hydras don't scheme. They're not like at the end of a big complicated plot necessarily.
They're not the main bad guy.
Yeah, they're not the brains behind the operation. So if you want your players to fight one, or maybe you just want to throw that as like a plot hook, like, we're trying to make health potions. If any parties are willing to go out and slay the Hydra, we'll pay you 15,000 gold, right? Because that's a lot, and that's what they're worth apparently. So that could be something to throw in. And if your players are like, nah, I don't want to do that, no problem. But it would be an easy thing to throw in, and it makes complete sense. They're very valuable. So having people to go hunt one, it could just be on the bulletin board of the tavern. You know what I mean? Like, there's a Hydra in the woods. Anyone that kills it, we're willing to give you bank for it. So
give you
anyway,
money.
Yeah, there's that. Hydra nests.
Steal them eggs. Eggs are also expensive.
Steal eggs. Yeah, that's a good one. But it would be a cool encounter for PCs to stumble on a Hydra nest, but not a Hydra yet. But like so they may be inspecting the nest, and when they realize it's a Hydra, maybe they'll crack open an egg and look at what's inside and see like a multi-headed fetus. They may be like, oh, we're in a Hydra nest. That is not good. We are only level 5 or something.
And then the Hydra bursts out, kills all of them.
Well, okay. Hopefully you'd give the players more chance to react.
No mercy.
Sure. Okay. Last one. Never mind. I've already mentioned it.
Laser shooting Hydras.
Yeah, that was it. Space Hydras. Anyway.
If you go into the astral plane, just have a Hydra that flies around shooting lasers. And then you play the Star Wars music in the background.
Yes. Okay, well that's the end of Hydras. Obviously the episode is not over, but Hydras are classic creatures, so it kind of makes sense that this was a longer episode. I hope everyone enjoyed the Hydra stuff.
Hydras are awesome.
I really liked learning about them and talking about them. Cool.